There's never been a better time to have Sirius XM. With over 140 channels in your vehicle, your all-access trial includes more than ever before to enjoy online, on your phone, or at home. Create your own ad-free personalized stations powered by Pandora. Hear ad-free extra channels and enjoy favorite shows with Sirius XM Video on Demand. What you love is on now.
Hey guys, what's going on? And welcome back to another lunchtime learning session here on CMA Connected, presented by Sirius XM. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Hoping everybody had a great long weekend. I know we couldn't come on lunchtime on Monday because, hey, we were on vacation, as was I. So hopefully everybody had a really good long weekend here in Canada. But now on to some business. We are, of course, going to get our learn on today. And today the category is ADAS. And if that's a new term for you, it really shouldn't be, because it's probably one of the fastest growing segments in all of 12 volt, and that is driver safety and convenience solutions. And one of those brands that have really been paving the way and pioneering a ton of product in the category is iBeam. Who's iBeam, you say? Maybe it's a brand you haven't heard of. Well, I can tell you that you have definitely heard of their parent company, and that is, of course, Metra Electronics. So Metra Electronics have their ADAS brand called iBeam. And if I'm going to be talking about Metra, and we're in Canada, you know I got to bring on my guest. And that is, of course, Mr. Gatlin Sandhu. What's going on, Gat?
Hey, Ben. How you doing today?
I'm excited to talk about some ADAS because, you know, I love talking car audio.
Advanced Driver Assisted Systems.
But I love talking about ADAS because I think it's so relevant right now, and I think there's a ton of opportunity in it for our dealers here in Canada to really profit from a couple of the innovations that have really happened in the segment of late.
Well, I think, a lot of our retailers need to kind of start looking at this as a step on or an add-on to an existing install. When a vehicle doesn't come with a double DIN screen, or you're adding, any other type of things like a backup camera or a, dash camera, kind of use it as an assisted tool to allow the retailer to kind of add on any of these driver safety features that the vehicle may be lacking and the driver could use.
And there's 2 points I want to make here. Number one, be aware that, ADAS is not something necessarily that the customer is going to come in and ask for. I feel that a lot of customers right now feel that a couple of these features are only available from factory when they purchase their vehicle, maybe not necessarily aware of the fact that these solutions exist in the aftermarket, hence what we're talking about today. And the flip side to that is it's profitable. Like, the installs are way easier than a custom, car fab install, and they're profitable, and the customers are happy because they do a specific purpose. They satisfy a specific need.
Yeah, I mean, keep in mind, the biggest profitability portion of a retailer in the car audio industry is the install bay, and making it as easy as possible and as fluid as possible, and all that really makes a huge difference in the profitability end of the retailer. So our ADAS division, iBeam, we've come across a lot of different aspects of the driver assisted safety features that we can add on to vehicles. People think that, okay, I know all the new vehicles are coming with, backup cameras and backup sensors and driver assisted lane departures and all that type of thing. Vehicles that are, probably pre-2015, a lot of that stuff was an option on the higher end of the vehicle spectrum. And, there is still a gigantic market for adding these features and safety benefits to a vehicle that didn't come with it from the factory. So, always use ADAS as an extra selling tool in the retail level. Customer walks in and you've got a display full of backup cameras or a dash camera. I am also hearing now, even with dash cameras, some insurance companies like Winter Tires here in Canada are giving you an insurance break on a dash camera. So, having a dash camera, having, backup assistance, these tools are meant to assist you. They're not meant to, drive and aid you. But, at the same time, even myself, I've been guilty of even having all of these things in my own vehicle. I had a 2016 F-150, and it had, backup sensors, backup camera, 360 view camera, lane departure. I'm backing up and my sensors are all going off, and I still managed to back into something. I don't know how, but I did.
That's called the code 18, Gatlin.
Yes,
the
code
problem is 18 inches from the screen. But anyhow,
so these things are meant to assist and aid you in the backing up process or the driving process. Don't rely on them, but it is definitely a nice added feature to have. As a driver, we are always kind of taught to check your shoulders, check your blind spots. Always, regardless of the cameras, but having these features and benefits in your car are definitely key these days.
One thing I will add to this before we jump into some great products we're going to showcase here, a story I heard is a lot of the time, okay, the main vehicle of your customer might be equipped with cross-traffic detection or blind spot detection, but there's a very strong chance that the secondary vehicle, which is typically maybe a little bit older, like you said, about 14, 15, isn't. Now, here's the key. If their main vehicle has it, they're already accustomed to these features. It's an easy upsell to say, hey, I can get that blind spot detection in your other car, right, sir?
It's true. I've got a 2021 Dodge Ram, and it's got the big, long, 10.5-inch or 12-inch long screen in it.
Tesla style.
Yeah, and Tesla style screen, and then I've got a 1992 GMC pickup that's all slammed down, and you may have seen pictures of it myself, anyhow. But I get in that, and I put it in reverse, and instantly I'm looking for the screen. I'm like,
but it's not there.
It's not there. So you become very accustomed to having all of those features in your vehicle. In a custom car or a secondary vehicle or a son's or a daughter's or a grandmother's vehicle. And, we all drive down the road and we see all sorts of fun stuff all the time. And it's like, darn, I wish I got that on dash camera, or that guy cut me off, or he backed into me, or, all these things can, at the end of the day, assist you in driving and also save you some money.
So all this is perfect segue into what we're about to talk about. We're here to talk about iBeam, which is the ADAS division of the Metra offering. Sensors, cameras, all different types of assistance stuff. We're going to go through a good selection of it so the dealers watching can get a sense for what this is. Yeah. And why don't we jump into that?
Yeah.
So we got a couple of slides because we want to go through each item. They're different items for different purposes. And let's start with this one here, Gatlin.
Okay, yeah, so this actually is our newest and greatest. This is the JPKT, and this is a replacement camera, and this is a direct OE replacement camera for the 2020 up Jeep Gladiator and JT. The resolution is 550 TV line, so super crisp, clean visual on the screen for you. Viewing angle is 160 degrees. Again, it's IP68 rated. And it also has a high performance power circuit. So if you're planning on keeping it on for longer than the duration of just being in reverse, that gives you the ability. And if you look on the right hand side there, you see two different brackets, and those are obviously for the different types of vehicles that they're going into. Nice connections there. And the camera as well, again, is IP68. So it's a direct OE camera.
Help me understand why somebody would want to replace their original camera if they already have one.
Right. Okay. So in the Jeep JLs, Gladiators, all that, they are actually operated off of a separated CAN bus line. So they're turned on through data. And when replacing the factory radio, there's really no way of being able to retain the factory camera, unfortunately, because it is a really nice, beautiful camera, but because it's turned on through a data CAN bus signal, there is really no way of remotely turning that camera on. So we offer a replacement camera that goes directly into the OE factory housings and allows you to retain that factory backup camera.
Okay, so this is a must for anybody who's changing up their source unit on one of these platforms.
On the Jeeps, absolutely. Again, we make a variety of cameras, and I'm sure all of our listeners are probably very well aware of the wide and vast variety of cameras that we have. But when it comes to this specific application, it's nice to have the camera that you need on hand for the job, and this is that camera, the GT-JPKT. So,
perfect, very nice. All right, let's continue with this one here.
Okay, so this is our TE 190, and the 190 is a wide viewing angle camera, resolution, again, 800 TV lines, IP69 rated. It's a mirror image switchable camera, selectable parking lines, and the camera lens is adjustable. So depending on where you're putting this on the vehicle, sometimes you could be putting it on the rear license plate under bracket, or where the license plate lights would be going. It's not always centered, so you want to be able to adjust the camera for the angle that you need. Mounting is either front, rear, side viewing of the vehicle. The diagonal view is 210 degrees, horizontal is 190, and the vertical is 140. And I've actually got one of these on hand here. And so I always encourage our retailers to, look at the packaging. A lot of the packaging that I've seen in the camera world tends to have just like a standard plastic bag that isn't really appealing to the eye. There really is no display purpose for backup cameras. And at Metra, our iBeam division in our arts department has always done such a really good job of our arts on our packaging. So this is a displayable piece that you can put on the shelf next to a sound display board, next to those double-din radios, next to your ADAS section of your showroom, and it's appealing to the eye. It looks good, and let me just kind of unbox this sucker here, show you what it's all about. On the back, it gives you a pretty clear image of what exactly the camera is all about. Very similar to the slide that we just showed you there. Gives you a little display of how the camera angle is adjustable there. Shows you all the connections up here, and it shows you an image of the camera as well. So I'll take this out of the box and show you guys this.
Hey, Gatlin, just real quick. Yeah. Is that camera there, is that a multi-purpose wide angle? It's not just for the backup camera. We could put
you can put it in front. You can mount it in the front of the bumper. You can mount it on the side in the mirrors if you'd like to do so.
Because I noticed that the mounting seems to come from the top of the camera, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. Yeah, and it does. And it does. So I'll take it out of the package here. And again, It's in a Ziploc bag here. And you guys can take a really close look at how the camera is actually mounted. So here's the wire that comes out. It's about 12 inches in length, and the camera is quite small. I mean, I go, here's my thumb for size reference.
Yeah, so but you got a big thumb.
I got a big thumb, but here's the camera for size reference, yeah. And the lens is adjustable, so you can take this little collar here, I think, and adjust the. There we go. It's tight. You don't want it to be tight because you don't want it to be flopping around there. But the collar here allows you to adjust the camera up and down. And I'll go ahead and just adjust it back up here so you guys can see the difference. Up and then down. Very small little camera. Nice little 5/16 hole to drill. IP69 rated. Nice weatherproof camera. All of these connections should be on the interior of the vehicle. Here's our parking line wires up here. So you guys can cut those there, whether you want to have parking lines or not. So that's the camera. And then, of course, included is a color instruction pamphlet. Shows you all of the benefits and features and the resolution lines, and also how it should be connected as well. And gives you all of the specifications on there. Gives you, of course, our tech support line if you have any issues in regards to installation or any technical questions revolving around that. And gives you all that there. And as well, gives you a nice long length of power cable and video cable so that you can run this through the vehicle.
Anywhere in the car. Anywhere
in the car. Yeah, it's really nice connections here.
That's popular too. When you change your source unit, a lot of these source units now have multiple camera inputs.
Right. So something that we've really taken into consideration too is that, a lot of people aren't going to be running the power wire or the trigger wire to the reverse trigger at the tail light. A lot of these newer vehicles too, they're not using straight 12 volts for a trigger on the reverse tail light. So there's a secondary pinned harness here that would go secondary to the length harness that you would install from the camera itself. And you can install this behind the source unit. So you have your power, your ground, it's fused at our harness. And then, of course, you have your standard yellow jacked RCA that can go into the source unit that you're planning on displaying the image on. And, nice length here. And you can include this in your installation. So if you're doing a double-din radio install and you've already sold the backup camera and you got one guy running the wire in the back and you got another guy doing the head unit inside of the dash, and he's prepping the harness on the bench, you just hand him this piece.
Gotcha.
Let him do the harness. The other guy runs the wire from the back to the front, and Bob's your uncle. right? And
Okay.
it makes the install nice and quick.
Man, while you're there, you better do two. Put one in the front.
You might as well. I mean,
You're already
if
there.
you're doing that. I mean, this is the thing is that, as a retailer, you should always be thinking ahead, and you should always be using that thinking ahead as making some extra profitability in the bay. And so if you could do that and you've already got the back end of the vehicle apart, why not add a dash camera, a rear facing dash camera, or
rear sensors,
maybe some sensors. So why don't we get into that video, or which slide do we have next? I can't remember if it's the video.
We got one more, but while we're on the topic of cameras, I'll bring it up right now. And that's this guy right here, which is, pretty standard these days. This is not an innovative product by any means, but man, it's a solution that fits a lot of situations.
Right. And so this is our TE-2M PTC accessory camera with multi-mounts and active parking lines. And so it's an accessory camera. And so what that means is that we've been able to improve the power circuit on these cameras. I want to say, the majority of people are powering these cameras with switched power, so they're on all of the time. So a lot of newer head unit manufacturers are having those little camera buttons on the dash, on the radios. And so what that means is that you can, view what's going on behind you while you're going forward.
Yes.
And I mean, all newer vehicles have that. And so the power circuit, what it does is it allows you to keep the camera on for a longer length period of time without burning the camera circuit out. And that's important. I think a lot of times when people are installing cameras, they don't realize that the cameras aren't actually designed to stay on all of the time. And so, we did our due diligence and we listened to our consumers and said, hey, how can we make that possible without you having to replace a camera or, doing a warranty job that you just spent a lot of time installing. These things, for an average installer, it's not a huge install. Okay. It's not going to take you all day, but for the average guy, clean install, zip tying, looming, all that stuff takes a lot of time. And when you do it, you really want to do it one time. You don't want to do it another time a year down the line when the power circuit is burned out on the camera because the install wasn't done correctly. So we have included a power circuit on our cameras that allows you to keep it on all the time. So here's that camera. Again, nice packaging, allows you to put it on a slat wall so you can display it. I always encourage people to display our products if they can. I know these are smaller packages and people might want to, stuff it down their shirt kind of thing, but, keep it out because people see this stuff, and if they see it, they'll buy it.
They start thinking. They're like,
Right. These are planting seeds. Think of these small little packages as seeds, and you're just planting them, and you don't even talk about it, right? If you have this displayed next to your, your doubled-in radio display, or a screen of some sort, or even let's just say you've got this on a bigger screen, and you got this camera hooked up to a big screen, so when they walk past your sound display board, they're seeing themselves in the camera and they're trying to figure out where it came from, right? And so these things are just kind of planting seeds. But again, this is our multi-mount accessory camera, water resistant. The nice thing about this camera is that it will allow you to install it with a plate cover. A lot of cameras don't actually give you the provisions to mount the camera with the space that goes between the actual camera and the bracket here. So there's a lot of space.
Right, because usually they're stuck together.
Right. I mean, I think the majority of people either have a dealership tag on the back of their license plate or one of those clear lens covers as well. And this bracket allows you to, bend it over top of that plate cover, making for a nice clean install. Really nice cameras. The brackets are nicely powder coated. You're not going to be finding any rusty hardware on here. We use stainless hardware and all this stuff. Nice connections. Just to, put a lot of forethought into it. I think one of the things about backup cameras, going again back into warranty concerns, is always wanting to make sure that you do it once. You don't want to be getting into a cheap China camera that, you spent $20 on eBay and you say, it'll work the first time you plug it in, I'm sure. But the first time you go through a rainstorm or the next time you go through a snowstorm, the likelihood of it functioning afterwards is going to be pretty slim. And you spent all that time installing it and you sold it as a safety feature and it's not going to be there when they need it. You want to make sure that you use a quality product, and iBeam is just that. You want to be able to make sure that you do it once. And this is a really nice camera. Again, very similar to the last camera I showed you. Comes with a really nice length of wires so you can install it on the back of the vehicle. Comes with all the different multi brackets as well. So the nice thing about these multi brackets for this camera is not only can it be used as a license plate bracket, but you can actually uninstall the camera with the sensor in the back of the bracket. And you can install it as a lip camera. You can install it in the front of the vehicle if you decide that you want to do it. So it's a really a multifaceted camera. It's a one piece that allows you to do several different types of
multi-purpose.
Right? And
that's again, good for inventory.
It's good for inventory. It's good to have in stock. So that way, when you're doing an install and you're, doing it, you're like, oh, well, I've only got a license plate mounted camera, but wait. I've also got a lip mounted camera. I've also got a front camera. I've got a trailer camera, and this is all, all in one package here.
Now, just to be clear, that camera that comes with that kit is not the wide angle, it's the same type of lens as the wide angle one you showed previously.
Right. So this one here, I believe, has and we'll just give you the specs because it's right on the back of the instructions that are included. Nice color instructions, not just a black and white pamphlet. Nice and thick paper too. We don't the world here. Okay.
Sell that pamphlet. Sell
that pamphlet. And it goes through everything. Tells you all the camera wiring. Tells you how to use a multimeter on which angle and all that fun stuff. But it also tells you the viewing angle is 170 degrees.
Okay.
So it's a nice wide.
That's pretty darn wide. I mean,
pretty darn wide.
Yeah, you're only missing 5 degrees on each side. It's not a lot.
Yep. Surface mount and license plate. So.
Perfect. Now, you mentioned something about, quality and everything. We already know the story with Metra, right? You guys, if you're going to do it, you're going to do it right. You're going to do it proper. You're going to put the right resources towards it. And there's a really nice team and good team behind iBeam. I think this next video, we're going to get into some of the sensors, right?
Yeah, sure.
And the individual behind iBeam who's kind of like the public, I guess, persona, because I see her videos a lot associated with. What is her name again?
It's Stephanie Carver.
Stephanie,
she's an innovator, that girl. She really cares about the back end support of Metra and making sure that our products are as top quality as they can possibly get. And, not only is she a developer, but she's also an installer. So she knows, how wires can be ran through grommets. She knows how things can go through the channels of a door sill.
And you can tell it comes off in the way she speaks. Like, she has done her homework. She knows. Right. When she says it, it's because it comes from a place of experience, right? So
circles around a lot of people that I know in regards to knowledge, and that's really a powerful tool for us over at Metra for sure.
Well, why don't we go ahead and play it? Yeah. This is it's Stephanie, and she's going to be talking about the new iBeam wireless. Is it wireless?
No, it's not. It's not. Well, it's not wireless, but it's. Go ahead and play the video.
And we'll talk about it in a bit. All right, here we go.
Hi, this is Stephanie from Metra Electronics. Today I'm going to tell you about a new product in our iBeam line. This is going to be the TE2PSK. This is a no-drill parking sensor kit that's going to include 2 sensors. You're going to mount them right directly into the back of your bumper and not going to require any drilling. So let's go through and unbox it, and I'll show you what you get in the box. Inside comes with your instructions. Very good step-by-step color instructions. You get your 2 little mini sensors, very small little guys. Now these are going to mount, like I said before, behind the bumper, so you don't have to drill. Bumper may have to come off if you can't get behind it, but you can see they are very small. See how small that is on my hand? Super small. And you only require 2 of them, not like 4 like other kits. You get a harness. This is going to be your power harness. Also has the connections for the sensors on them. They're tight, water-resistant connectors. You can see that gasket on there. Plug right in, real simple. You also have a programming button. That's going to be used for when you get everything set up to program the system and get it started. You get some alcohol prep pads to wipe down and make sure that the bumper is clean before you mount your sensors. Get some zip ties to secure everything in place. You get a little mini piezo that's going to provide audio for you when your sensors sense something. You get a little ruler so that you can measure everything out if you don't have your own, kind of supply everything for you. And then last but not least, the activator for the 3M tape on here. Want to make sure that's going to get a nice, secure adhesion to the bumper. So now let's do the install.
Start by taping the bumper to find the proper mounting location for the sensor. The sensors are to be mounted 15 to 24 inches from the ground and 10 to 20 inches from the center of the vehicle. These measurements will be different for every vehicle and can be adjusted by 4 inches for all measurements. Start by finding and marking the center of the vehicle. Then tape a straight line out from the center to each side of the vehicle. The ideal mounting location for the sensor is a flat location. Once the position is measured, make sure the inside of the bumper is cleaned properly. Please note, most bumpers will need to be removed to gain access to a flat location for the sensors. After mounting each sensor on the bumper, run the wire from each sensor into the vehicle, making sure to secure the wiring to the vehicle so it does not drag on the ground or get caught in any moving parts. Once in the vehicle, a good source for a reverse signal and ground will need to be located and tapped into. Verify the reverse signal and ground with a digital multimeter. After the reverse signal and ground are connected, finish the install by mounting and connecting the mini speaker for the audible alerts. There's a simple calibration sequence that needs to be done. Plug in the calibration button, put the vehicle into reverse, and make sure there is nothing within 3 feet of the vehicle, and press and hold the button for 3 seconds or until you hear 2 continuous beeps. This indicates that the sensors are calibrated and active. After this, the button can be unplugged and the system can be tested.
She made that look so easy. It makes me feel like I can do it.
It really is easy. I was just unboxing the package as I was watching the video with you guys there. And, here's the sensors here. I want to give you guys a nice close-up of these. Really super high-quality sensors, nice and waterproof. You're not going to have to worry about, water infiltration. These are a microwave-type sensor, so they go through a plastic bumper. They won't work on metal bumpers, in case anybody out there is wondering. I just thought I'd answer that question for you guys right now. Yeah. They're for a plastic bumper only. And you want to make sure that there are no, metal provisions in front of the bumper cover before you install this. So nice 3M mounting tape on the back there. And something else that's super important as well is our proprietary weather pack connections that are on the harnesses that are included with the kit. That's just to, go to show the quality of the product as well, is that you're not having to worry about water infiltrating. You don't really know what's going on behind your bumper. You ever gone through a gravel parking lot and then washed your car after with a pressure washer and seen how much dirt falls out from underneath of your bumper? These things are, subjected to a lot of abuse behind a bumper. And, it's imperative these are nice and waterproof, nice and easy to install, and just a quality product overall. Again, you want to make sure that you use that adhesion promoter that's included in the kit. That way these suckers stick back there and they're not going to be falling off. And just a nice, really quick, easy install. Again, those color instructions are really nice to look at, full color, and give you a really clear and concise breakdown about how to install it, what the wiring looks like, and how to program it. And of course,
Gatlin, I don't think people realize how many vehicles out there don't have parking sensors.
There are an astronomical amount of vehicles that don't have parking sensors. And if it's something that you don't have, you actually really want to consider getting it, because not only is it for, an audible sensor to let you know that something's behind you, but, it's a good safety feature. You never know when there's a kid behind you, a bicycle. You watch those, you remember those old commercials from Ford back in the day when, sensors were first coming out, they
were the next big thing, right?
Next big thing. And, they do the video with the kid on the bike, who's fallen over behind your car and you don't know about it. I mean, that stuff happens, right?
Yeah, I seen one with the dog too.
A dog or a cat or whatever it might be. You want to have some type of safety feature, audible or visual, that will tell you that there's something behind you. And this kit is really just the best option. Again, it's very well packaged, a really nice kit to look at. Place this on a shelf.
I'll put that on a scale of 0 to 5, 5 being extremely difficult, on the level of 1 for any 12-volt shop.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, come on, right?
It's really a no-brainer install.
It's a no-brainer install.
And you can add this in addition to that dash camera, or in addition to that backup camera that you're installing.
Yeah, because anybody putting a backup camera, you're thinking, well, why? Okay, here's a great question for you.
Sure.
Why would you want to put a backup camera and backup sensors?
Well, the more visual and audible sensors that you have behind you, again, these things are made to be used as an assisted aid, right? They're not going to back up your vehicle for you like a Tesla could, but they're going to aid you in the backing up or driving. They're going to assist you with that. So any extra added benefits that you can do, whether it's a camera or backup sensors or lane departure sensors or any of that.
Well, on that note, I really, this is probably the slide I'm most excited about personally, because I think this is like something that we need to tell people about when they come into our shops. And this is right here.
So this is our two-way rear blind spot detection kit. So unlike any other system, everything is built into a single sensor for a really clean do-it-yourself or shop install with no additional control modules or parts that are needed. So this system provides both audible and visual alerts. The audible obviously is with a little piezo sensor or buzzer there. And the LED visuals can get installed up into the A-pillars of the vehicle. And this is a 65.5 foot blind spot detection system. So LED visual is only shown when there's a vehicle in the blind spot. And then the visual and audible alert is triggered if the blinker is on. So when you're turning your turn signals on, you're driving down the highway and there's somebody in your blind spot, it will give you both the visual. I'm sure you're driving down the highway, you see those guys with the mirrors and you see that little orange light pop up. Very, very similar, only this is going to be on the interior of your vehicle on the A-pillar. And again, it alerts the driver immediately if there's someone in your blind spot. It's super easy to install. There are no bumper removals. This installs on the rear glass location, so it can be centered in the vehicle's rear glass. It detects approaching and overtaking vehicles. It's a single sensor system. And if you can look at the picture there, it actually gives you the cigarette lighter adapter plug-in, all of the 3N tape, all the connections, the piezo sensor, as well as the two LED indicators. And it also does cross-path detection. You actually asked me a question about the cross-path detection earlier, and yeah, it does do that as well, which is super nice.
So why I think this one is so cool, and I'm gonna
from the left or the right,
it
will give you an audible. Some of the newer vehicles actually will press the brake for you. Our system won't do that, but it'll give you that audible and visual to let you know where it's coming from.
So my 2 cents on this one is, I think cross traffic is very, very important to have in any vehicle. How many times have you been in a parking lot of a Walmart or Costco and you're backing up and, hey, dude, every day, right? That lady. My greatest fear has always been the lady with the baby carriage. That's always been. I can't be alone in that one. That one's like a standard. But the grocery cart, even damage on your vehicle. That cross detection just saves it so many times.
The busy-minded driver who doesn't care that you're backing up and wanting to get out of the parking lot. He just wants to find a parking spot and get around you. You're halfway backed out and he's swerving around you.
Yeah,
you want to know if that guy's coming or not, and
exactly
this will allow you to detect.
But what I find really game-changing about this one is the fact that you don't have to take off the bumper. You don't have to put in sensors in the bumper. Now, there are, I believe iBeam also has a model that does that. 2 sensors that go behind the bumper. Again, no metal bumpers. But this is a quick and easy solution that you can just go ahead and, basically, it's
it's transferable to any vehicle, but, you really want to be able to hide all those wires and do a clean install. It's for the DIYer. I want to say that's probably for an advanced DIYer, a guy that kind of knows how to remove door seal trims and things like that to be able to run wires along headliners and A-pillars and then install the cigarette lighter adapter. Reality says that you probably want to hardwire that adapter, cut it off, and put it onto a switched power source on the vehicle. So you're not seeing any of the wires, and all you're able to see is the sensor.
Some vehicles do have the cigarette plug in the trunk, which is handy if you're already back there.
Some do have the cigarette plug in the back there. Keep in mind for those guys who have rear dash cameras at the same time, you're going to have to move that dash camera over.
This one has to be centered
in order to install the sensor in the center of the rear windscreen.
Again, I think a neat one to show. You might want to show that. You might upgrade them to a hardwire, system. But if you didn't show it, maybe you wouldn't be thinking about it. So
right. Something that you want to maybe do with the box once you get it in stock there. You talk to our guys over in Florida there, maybe they'll give you a little bit of small prize to give you the package that you can install it in your showroom. So you can show people, how it actually works when they're walking by the system. It'll
interesting.
to them. You can do it in your showroom. The thing is, you always want to show this stuff. As a retailer, you want to be able to show it, not just talk about it, but you want to be able to show it to the retailer so they can see it with their eyes, know how it works, and see the benefits and features of adding it to their vehicle. And those.
Dude, this should be on your demo vehicle or your personal vehicle that's parked outside. It takes 30 seconds to demo.
30
this.
seconds.
Once they see this, they're like, "Oh, damn,
great,
yeah, okay, I want that."
Right.
That's it. So easy. One last product to go through. This is a little bit more unique. I know we talked about some cameras before, but talk to us about this one here.
So this is our black micro camera with the fixed angle. It's an 8mm threaded bolt for mounting, so a nice small hole that can be drilled. And this is a really nice CMOS image censored camera. Again, IP68 rated. It's a switchable mirrored image, and you can also switch those parking lines on and off. This is a really nice small little camera. Unfortunately, I don't have one here with me at this time, but it gives you a really nice viewing angle, and it's really small. So this can be added to the front of the vehicle, the back of the vehicle, and again, another piece that you should keep in stock. But the cool thing about this camera is not only can it be mounted up underneath, say, of a license plate bracket, but can also be mounted as a down vision type camera. So if you want to install it in a truck where the third brake light is and you want to have it facing the cargo in the back of the truck, you can do that as well just by flipping that image around, which is a really nice.
That looks, for me, just the way it's shaped, like good for mirrors, blind spot mirror cameras.
That's right. It's a nice sleek looking camera as well, but the image flipping is the most important thing.
Right.
The camera is pointed this way or upside down or whatever it might be. Again, a really nice multifaceted piece from iBeam. We're able to, again, innovate these things and think about these things. You have this one camera in stock, and again, it gives you a multitude of different angles and different mounting positions that you can mount it in, and it's just one SKU that you can carry among many others of ours.
So here we are, iBeam ADAS products from Metra. I put up the digits down below. Check it out, ibeamusa.com. Of course, if you're a Canadian dealer, you want to contact this gentleman right here. His name is Gatlin Sandhu, and his phone number is there too. And he promises not to swipe left on you.
Yeah, no kidding. The amount of phone calls I'm getting. One thing I want to encourage our people who are watching is, of course, to go visit our website, metraonline.com. Click on our catalogs link at the top there and click on our iBeam catalog. We've only shown just a few of our pieces here today in this video specifically, but I got one more piece before we go here, Ben, if you don't mind.
Surprise piece.
We have been talking about dash cameras kind of all along the entire segment, and I wanted to introduce to you our 1080p quality camera. And this is our TE-DVR 1080, and the 1080, of course, stands for 1080p. It's 30 frames per second. You can suction mount this to your windscreen. It's got a nice little 2-inch display on the actual camera itself. That records video and audio, which is super important, I think, because when you're driving down the road and you either get impacted, you watch an accident, or an accident happens to you, what they say is also actually kind of important as well. So, or maybe if you're getting pulled over, you can turn this camera onto the officer, and I don't know. However you want to do it, but it's always important to have a dash camera. So it's got a G-sensing impact recording as well. So when you're in a parking spot and the camera gets jolted, it'll start recording for you as well. And you can install a 32 gigabyte SD card into this camera. And we also sell separately, which is our hardwire kit. So in this box, and I'll do a quick unboxing here and show you guys what's in the box. Again, really nice packaging. Don't you think there, Ben? I
have to admit, Metra, all throughout, from the wiring, to all the way up to the dash cams, they really, really do a nice job. There's no doubt about it. And that's important to say, because that's part of retail, man.
It is part of retail. Visual is everything, If you see it, you'll buy it. Again, nice color instructions, tell you how to install it, how to calibrate it. And then in the box, of course, you've got the actual camera itself. And I'll take this out of here. Really nice, sleek camera. Like the quality of this thing, like when you're pressing buttons and all that, like the click feels really nice.
Is there a screen on that?
There is. There's a little 2-inch screen.
Oh, look at that. It is black. It's almost like a GoPro, might I say.
Right. It's actually about that small too. The buttons are on the side here for any of your adjustments and menu features that are on the camera. The camera, of course, is on the front, and then you've got the microphone, which is mounted on the front as well. And it's a sleek-looking camera. It's got almost like a black machined look finish to it. It's a really nice-looking camera. Our mounting holes are up there, and that's obviously where your power can get installed there. And I'll go ahead and quickly install the suction mount onto this. I mean, all of, I want to say 5 minutes from start to finish when installing this camera into your vehicle. Get this on here. Again, it's a nice tight fit, so let me just get this on here. These lights they've got in front of me actually make it pretty difficult to see what I'm doing. It's
dude, I could tell. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I'm not going to do this, but anyhow, this goes on to here. This gets onto the windshield.
Because you might have a problem getting it off afterwards. I'm just saying.
Right.
It could be that tight.
Box.
Yeah.
One of my retailers can buy this camera from you.
So it comes with I'm guessing it comes with the lighter plug, and then you can order the separate hardwire kit.
Nice, high quality lighter plug. And then, of course, your mini USB type plug here as well. And then it also includes your extraction cable for any of the content that's on the camera. So you don't install this off of the dashboard. You plug this cord into your computer, and then you can extract any of the video that you've got on the camera. And then, of course, if you're planning on hardwiring it, our nice hardwire package here. Something that I actually wanted to note, and I don't really want to take this out of the package all the way, so I'm trying to see if maybe I could save us from having to do that. In the package, it actually gives you a really nice right angle plug for the camera. So when you're installing it up by the rear view mirror, the cord can come up and along.
Sideways and right up and doesn't loop down. Gotcha.
Right. Nice little added piece there. Nice clean install. Again, predetermined. It's got the fuse already built in.
I'll be honest, I wouldn't expect anything less from Metra than clean wiring and adapter kits, even with their dash cams.
Yeah,
let's be honest.
Right. It's true. We take a lot of pride in how things are installed these days, especially in a lot of retailers. I think the majority of the retailers that I walk into, outside of the products that they sell, they like to pride themselves on how the things are done. So, nice clean wiring, heat shrunk, soldered, zip tied, loomed. Even the nice sheathed braiding, a lot of guys take the extra steps to make it look really nice, and we give you all the tools to make it happen.
There you go, guys. If you're going to do your next Metra order, make sure you take a look at the iBeam line of product, especially in the ADAS category, whether it's reverse cameras, multi-angle cameras, adapters, dash cam, set rear parking sensors, cross traffic or blind spot detection sensors, and much, much more. Digits are on the bottom. Check it out for iBeam products. iBeamUSA.com. And if you want to get more info on becoming a dealer, because this product is multi-distributed through multiple distributors across the country, east to west. But you talk to one person, that's Gatlin. There's his number below. Gat, on that note, I think we learned a lot in this session.
I think we did too. Again, I appreciate being on these sessions, these connected sessions, and an hour is only so much time, and I only have so much product at any given time in my basement as a recording.
No, but you timed this one good. A couple goodies on this one.
There was a couple of really nice new pieces here, and again, I want to thank Trudy and Stephanie Carver from our iBeam division. And Trudy, she's she puts all this stuff together for me, so I wouldn't be able to do much of any of this stuff.
You mean she makes you look good, like I do?
Yeah, thanks.
I know your pain, Trudy. I feel you. No, just kidding. Good job. All right. Thanks so much, man. Have a great day. Thanks for joining us on this lunchtime learning session.
Thank you, Ben. I appreciate it very much. And thanks for viewing, guys. Again, if you need to get a hold of me, my number is 226-927-6231 or Gatlin S at metra-autosound.com.
Booyah. Talk to you soon, man. Take care.
See you soon.
And there you have it. Awesome. Learned a little bit about ADAS through the iBeam brand over at Metra. And you know what? My takeaway from this one has got to be, I really like everything I saw, but I thought that blind spot detection that doesn't have to take off the bumper, it's just a quick, easy solution. And again, I think it's a great selling tool to upgrade somebody to the full kit. And overall, if we did, the takeaway from this session is these are small products. Put them in your showroom, show people. Don't expect consumers to know that these type of products are available because they are pre-programmed to think it's only available at the dealer level and not in the aftermarket. Your job as a retailer is to make sure they know that it is available, and you can certainly help them out with that. Hey, thanks for tuning into this session of CMA Connected, presented, of course, by Sirius XM. I'll be back on Friday for another one. Until next time, we connect.